Manchester, a city divided by red and blue. For over a century, two clubs have clashed in a rivalry where pride means more than points. From record-breaking scorelines to title-deciding goals, the Manchester Derby has delivered some of football's greatest drama. Today, we're reliving 10 unforgettable matches that changed the Derby forever. Some will make you smile, some will sting, but all of them are legendary. Let's begin. On October 2nd, 2022, the Etihad Stadium turned into a playground for City's stars. Erling Haaland and Phil Foden both scored hat tricks, the first time in Premier League history that two teammates hit 3 goals each in the same match. The game wasn't just about the scoreline, it was about dominance. United looked powerless, chasing shadows as City passed with surgical precision. Even when Anthony Martial scored twice late on for United, the damage had been long done. The final score of 6-3 wasn't just another Derby win, it was a message. City weren't just better, they were miles ahead. This game became a symbol of the new Manchester, blue, ruthless, and unstoppable. A few months earlier, on March 6, 2022, City had already shown how wide the gap had grown. Kevin De Bruyne set the tone early, scoring within 5 minutes. United briefly responded, but De Bruyne added another, and Riyad Mahrez struck twice, completing a comfortable 4-1 win. What stood out wasn't just the goals, but the sheer control. At one stage, City kept the ball for nearly 5 straight minutes with 92% possession, as if daring United to even try to touch it. It wasn't a contest, it was a training drill. Old Trafford fans had grown used to success, but now it was clear, City had become the masters of Manchester. This game wasn't just about 3 points, it was about humiliation, and it left United searching for answers they still haven't found. History was made on May 25, 2023, when the two Manchester Giants clashed in the FA Cup final at Wembley. The first time ever the Derby decided England's oldest trophy. The game exploded instantly as Ilkay Gundogan volleyed in after just 12 seconds, the fastest goal in FA Cup final history. United fought back, Bruno Fernandes calmly slotting a penalty to equalize, but Gundogan struck again with a second-half volley that sealed the win. The atmosphere was electric, half the stadium in agony, half in ecstasy. For City, this was more than a cup. It was a step toward their historic treble. For United, it was devastating, watching their fiercest rivals celebrate at their expense. The 2023 final proved the Derby had outgrown local bragging rights. It was now deciding the biggest prizes in football. Just months before that cup final heartbreak, Old Trafford had erupted in joy. On January 14, 2023, City took the lead through Jack Grealish, and many fans thought it would be another routine Derby win for Guardiola's men. But the script flipped. In the 78th minute, Bruno Fernandes struck a controversial equalizer after Rashford, standing offside, left the ball for him. Then, just 4 minutes later, Rashford himself buried the winner. The stadium shook as United fans celebrated a comeback that felt like old times. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement of defiance. United, often criticized for fading against their rivals, had fought back with heart and belief. For once, it felt like the red side of Manchester had reminded everyone that the Derby is never predictable. Few matches in Derby history carry as much shock value as October 23, 2011. Mario Balotelli opened the scoring and cheekily revealed a shirt saying, "Why always me?" A moment now etched into football folklore. But the real story came in the second half. City, who were still labeled the noisy neighbors at the time, dismantled United on their own turf. Sergio Aguero, David Silva, and Edin Dzeko joined the party as United collapsed to a 1-6 defeat, their heaviest home loss since 1955. The sight of City fans singing inside Old Trafford was surreal. This game didn't just shock fans, it marked a turning point. City weren't just challengers anymore, they were contenders. The balance of power in Manchester had shifted, and nothing would ever be the same again. By March 2024, the Derby had a new face, Phil Foden. United struck first with a brilliant finish from Marcus Rashford, and for a moment, hope flickered for the red side. But then Foden took over. The young star scored twice with composure beyond his years, ripping through United's defense. And, as if to add insult, Erling Haaland sealed the game late on, securing another 3-1 victory for City. This wasn't just another derby. It felt like a generational statement. The sight of Foden, a local boy from Stockport, becoming the hero against United, symbolized how deeply City's dominance now ran. For United fans, it was salt in the wound. For City fans, it was poetry. Not every chapter in this story belongs to City. On December 15, 2024, At the Etihad, United delivered one of their sweetest wins in years. Bruno Fernandes was at his creative best, pulling the strings in midfield, while Amad Diallo became the unlikely hero with a late goal. The final whistle confirmed a 2-1 victory, and the United players celebrated like champions. For United fans, this was more than 3 points. It was proof they could still rise to the occasion. The victory didn't change the power balance overall, but for one night, the Red side reclaimed bragging rights. It reminded everyone that no matter how dominant City may be, derbies always carry the potential for surprises. Sometimes, the most gripping derbies don't have goals at all. In April 2025, the clash finished 0-0, but it was a game filled with drama. Both sides flew into tackles, desperate not to give an inch. Onana pulled off world-class saves to deny Haaland, while Ederson matched him by shutting down Rashford and Fernandes. The match ended scoreless, but nobody left disappointed. It was 90 minutes of tension, with every clearance cheered and every chance met with gasps. This derby showed that even when the net doesn't ripple, the rivalry burns fiercely. It wasn't about goals. It was about pride, grit, and survival. The season curtain raiser often feels like a friendly, but the August 2024 Community Shield carried the weight of a real derby. The match ended 1-1 after normal time, forcing a dramatic penalty shootout. Both sides converted under pressure until sudden death, where City finally edged it 7-6. For Guardiola's team, it was another trophy, small but symbolic. For United, it was another painful reminder that in this rivalry, even the narrowest margins can sting. What stood out wasn't just the result, but the atmosphere. Both sets of fans treated it like a final, and every penalty carried the intensity of a Champions League night. This match showed how much the derby has evolved. Even preseason silverware matters when it's red against blue. The final match on our list is perhaps the most significant. On April 30th, 2012, City hosted United in a game that would decide the title race. The atmosphere was electric. Every challenge cheered like a goal. Just before halftime, Vincent Kompany rose highest and powered in a header that sent the Etihad into chaos. That lone goal delivered a 1-0 win, pushing City to the top of the league on goal difference. Weeks later, they would clinch their first Premier League title in 44 years in the most dramatic of fashions. For United, it was agony. For City, it was rebirth. This wasn't just a derby win. It was the moment that changed Manchester forever. From Balotelli's cheeky grin to Gundogan's record-breaking volley, the Manchester derby has given us moments that fans will never forget. These 10 matches prove the rivalry is about more than football. It's about pride, passion, and history. Which derby lives strongest in your memory? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more football stories that matter.